Hey everyone, Deb here from Deb Studio. I did take a week off from painting, and it took me that whole week just to do one poem in video form. But anyways, I thought what I would do is start a new series of flowers, and I thought I would name, oh gosh, what was the title I wanted? Flower Gardens of My Heart or something like that. But anyways, and so I went through and I picked out 4 flowers that I wanted to paint, and one of them I've got to change. This rose, when I first saw the picture, I thought it would be a good image to paint, but then once I got it traced onto my paper, I kind of noticed it fell apart, so to speak. I think it's the way it goes. I'll try to have reference photos for all the flowers, but I found all of them on Pexels. So if you're looking for images of flowers, you can go to pexels.com. It's free images that you can download. So I downloaded them, got them traced on to my parchment paper, but like I said, the rose, I think I need to find a different rose. This one was really pretty. It was a pink rose with water droplets on it. It was a real close view. But as you can see, the borders of the photograph were like this, and I have 8x8 papers, so maybe it's something I can work with. I don't know. It was a really pretty picture, I know that. And then the next flower, which is going to be the first flower we're going to paint, is a tulip. This one is a red and kind of yellowish tulip. So I thought we'll start with this one. And then, put this one over here. I've got a daisy. And now most of these little lines in here, I kind of drew those in only for reference, because when we start the painting, of course, we're only going to worry about the outside, or the leaves themselves, and then we'll get the texture in. I've got some shadow area drawn in on some of them, like in here and here. There's shadows that's being cast from petals that's above that particular layer. And then I have a lily. Now let's see, this one goes like this. So this was, I can't remember what color this was. I think this one was kind of a pink. Oh, I don't have it opened up. So anyway, the daisy is purple, by the way. So the daisy is going to be done in some purples. The rose will definitely be pink. The lilies, I think, were pink and white. And then, of course, the tulip will be yellow, orange, sort of in that range. So, that's those. We will be doing the backgrounds in acrylic. And then we'll paint the flowers in our water-mixable oils. And like I said, I did go out and buy some more water-mixable oils. I'm only going to be using 2 of the new ones, though. I got an Indian Red, which is a color I didn't have in any of my collection, and the Cad Red Light, which I didn't have when I was doing the hand video. So those are the 2 colors that I bought that I'm going to use. Everything else that I bought, I've got a smaller tube that came in one of the sets that I have. Okay, so, and then also, see, we've got our brushes here. I did buy some new brushes. I was excited about that. These were on sale at Michael's, which was really, really cool. So I've got my craft brushes from Walmart. This one is the 10/0. That's the little liner brush that we'll probably use for our outline. Then we've got the number 4 round. We have, I think this one, yeah, this one was the number 2 shader. This one is the number 8. Yeah, that one's the number 8. And I don't know if you'd call it a shader or a bright. Might be a flat. Hold on. Yeah, it's a flat shader, so it's called a flat shader. Then I have my 1/2 inch and my 3/4 inch angle brushes. And then, gosh, these need to be loosened up a little bit. And my new brushes, I got, let's see, a short filbert number 4. This one is an angle number 4. I probably ought to take these off so y'all can see them. Oh gosh, got to break that sizing off of there too. Okay. So let's get these all off and then we'll go over those again. Wow, they have so much sizing on these. It's not even funny. I'm going to have to wash those before I can use them. Okay. So, starting over again. This one is a number 4 bright. Then I have a number 2 angle. A number 6 angle. Then I have, let's see, this one is a number 4 angle. Then I have a number 4 and a number 6 in the short filberts, which I really like a filbert brush, but anyways. So that's all my brushes. Alright. And then I thought what we'd do with the background, like I said, we're going to do it in acrylic. And then what my idea was, since I always tend to go too dark, is, there guys, I was going to put some of my liquid white down on the canvas, hopefully enough to get it covered. And then I was going to go through with like little dots of the different colors that I'm seeing in the background, because the background is really blurred out. Up in the top area, it looks almost black. I don't want to use black, so I wanted to stick with the Diox and, where did I put it? Oh, and my Prussian Blue, because Prussian looks real close to black when it's dry. And then of course I see some alizarin or kind of a reddish color down in this area for maybe a background leaf or something. And then some green and yellow, which I really like the primary yellow. It's a nice bright yellow. And then my phthalo green, which I'm hoping I got enough in here. We'll see. Alright guys, so that's it. Let me find me a paper plate and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I just found me one of my old paper plates that has dried up paint on there, and it's not going to hurt anything, so gosh. Alright, and then I forgot to mention I have Mr. Scraggly here to help me do my background. Alright, so let's get our white on here first. Whew. Don't need a lot. And then once I get this background painted on, I'll pause you guys, dry this background, change my water, and then we'll start painting, or at least get our tracing on. And of course I do have my gloves on now. Usually I don't remember to put those on until I'm already halfway through the painting and I've got paint all over my hands. Mr. gray clay picked up a bunch of water. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Okay. So that's our white on. Now, down in, good grief. Down in this area, it looks like I have a little bit of red, so I'll take a little of this crimson. And maybe I'll just mix it in with my hands, who knows. Oh, it's way too dark. Okay, way too dark. So, not to fear. There we go. That'll work. Okay. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then, let's see. It's very white in here. I've got some green, yellowish green going on in this area. So, get our phthalo here. Might need to change my towel, we'll see. Alright. It's darkest right in here. And the yellow is in that area. It's a very light kind of yellow. Okay. Ooh. See, this is what I mean by I always get too much dark. Okay. It's not looking too bad. Okay, and then my dark up in this area, I don't have enough yellow here. Let's see what we can do about that. Here. There we go. Okay, that looks a little better. And let's see. I see. A up in this area, it's kind of darkish looking. So let's go with the little touch of Diox. And then I've got some, go with this Prussian up here in the top. Which is not gonna work. I may have to add some Diox in with that because that doesn't quite look dark enough to me. Ooh, come on. Green up in there too. Alright. Get that blended out and then hopefully, oh yes, there we go. Okay. That blended together a little better. Okay, and pulled that blue down too far. Let's see here. Oops. Mr. Scraggly is falling apart. Let's do, well, since I've got the blue in there, I could probably just put down some yellow because we do know blue, red, and yellow and blue will make a green. Okay. Gosh, I really don't want to throw this brush away. Okay, there we go. And then, I can find a clean place on my towel. Kinda. Could go with a little bit more red right in here, and I'm going to use Namphal for that. You know what? I think I'm going to call that done as far as the background goes. Alright guys, so let's see here. I like it better. Okay. Alright, I need to stop playing with it now because it's starting to dry and lift. Okay guys, so I'm going to put you on pause, get this dried, and then I'll be back. We are back. And our next step, of course, is to do our transfer or tracing. So, if you're wondering how I do this, I do it with chalk and parchment paper. So I had the image opened up on my computer screen, and I just traced right onto the, taped my parchment paper onto the screen, traced around the flower. To do the transfer, and you could do this with sterile paper or tracing paper. It's up to you. It's just that parchment paper is a little cheaper than tracing paper, and it's easier to find because I can get it at Walmart in the kitchen section. So yeah, and then I just have regular kids chalk. So on the back side of my drawing, I'm just going to take the chalk all over the back where the tracing is. And I'm going to just speed this part up, so you guys just hang in. And if I'd have been thinking, I probably could have just done it like this onto the canvas, because it'll show up. And since we're working with oils, the carbon or whatever in the pencil, or the lead in the pencil, is easily covered up with the oil paint. And my stem didn't get in there very well, but that's alright. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do, take my canvas here, got it good and dry, and then lay my tracing down. And I forgot my tape. Actually, I've got some right over here. Yay! So I'm just going to use regular Scotch tape. And the purpose of putting this on is so that my paper doesn't move while I'm doing my tracing. Maybe I'll just do the two corners. That should be enough. Okay, that should be good enough. Alright, so then when I do my tracings, once I'm putting them on there, I will go over them in ink. I do them in pencil and then I'll go over in ink, and that's just so that now I've made the tracing permanent. So if I want to reuse this, I can. Let me speed this part up and we'll be back. Alright, so I think that's probably as good as I'm going to get that. Since I did do a light background, the white's not wanting to show it very well, so I think in the next painting what we'll try to do is what I was saying before, where if you notice when I did the tracing, or when I was putting the chalk on, the tracing actually transferred onto the paper. I may see if I can do the next flower that way. We'll see. Alright, this tape off of here. Alright guys, so that's the tracing part. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put out my paint. Don't know yet what colors I'm going to use, but like I said, the tulip itself looks mostly like red, yellow. The stem, of course, is green. Like some coral color in there. Yeah, we'll work on it. It shouldn't be too many colors we'll have to deal with. Hopefully, we'll see. I'm doing the tulip because it appeared to be the easiest shape to start with. And I think everybody can do a tulip. I don't know. We'll see. Alright guys, I'll be back. I'm back. I got my colors picked out. So I have this color mixing recipes for landscapes by William Powell. And was trying to figure out how to use it, but unfortunately I'm not having much luck. The directions in the front more or less tell you to find the subject that you're wanting to paint in the index that's in the back. And they're listed, so you wouldn't look for tulip, you'd look for flower, and then you'd look for tulip under flower. That makes sense. But the colors that it had listed didn't make sense. Unless I'm missing something, I don't know. So anyway, here under F, and then I went and I found tulip. And it's saying red 2, common 95, and then yellow 132. Well, according to the directions, I would find those colors and then use all the colors that's listed for the number. But I don't know if that's red 2 or if that's red and then color number 2. I know it's color 2 and then number 95, and then it has yellow 132, so I looked up yellow 132. And to try to get a general idea of what was going on. So here's 132, which is a yellow, and it's made up of white and then cadmium yellow medium. So when I found that, I'm like, okay. But for the red, it says number 2, and if I look at number 2, that's a blue. It's 2 permanent blue, 1 white, and then 1 alizarin crimson. So I'm wondering if maybe it means to use the alizarin crimson that's in that color mixture. So I'm like, okay, let me go look at number 95. Well, 95 is a green. And it's made up of 3 cadmium yellow light, 1 permanent green light, and then 3 specks of white. So at that point, I was confused. I mean, this is probably for the stem. You could use that color for the stem. You could use 132 as the yellow for the tulip. But it's the red that's really got me messed up. We'll put it that way, nicely. So, I'm going to put this to the side and do the best I can. Okay. So, the colors I've chosen, and I know it's a lot. I've got a Cad Red Light, which is one of my new colors that I bought, because I didn't have it before. And I guess you should have Cad Red Light in every palette you have. Alright, so the Cad Red Light. Then I've got just a regular Cad Red Hue. Which, Cad Red Hue, it just says Cad Red Hue. If you want to get the real thing, it will say Cadmium Red Medium or Cadmium Red Dark. Those paints cost twice as much as the Hue. But again, the cadmiums are divided up into a medium and a dark, and then of course the light. And then the hues are just a Cad Red Hue. No light, medium, dark, whatever. Of course then I get to this one, and this says Cad Red Deep Hue. So what I was saying is that this little guy right here, he's a 37 milliliter or 1.25 ounce US ounce tube of paint, which I'm sure this will probably last me for a while. This was $18.99, and that was at Michael's. But that's because it is the pure cadmium. So I would probably, if you have a cadmium allergy, not use this one. I would go with a Hue. Hue is an imitation of the cadmium that's used. Okay, so anyways, moving on. Then I've got a permanent alizarin crimson, and then I'm also using my crimson alizarin hue. This is from Winsor and Newton, and then this is Georgian, which is a Dally Brownie. So this one is a student, I mean they're both student grades, but Winsor Newton has been in the oil paint business forever and a day. And then Dally Brownie, they've been getting into, I don't know how long they've been into oil paints, but anyways, the two colors are, they're both alizarin, but one, I think from the last time when we did the hand painting, one leaned kind of purplish, and then the other one was more of a reddish. So I'm going to use both of these alizarins for the simple fact they're different. Then, just out of curiosity, since I bought it, this is Indian Red from Winsor & Newton. This one I think was only $9.99 at Michael's. So, but a lot of these paints, a lot of the Winsor & Newton, and then I think there was some other paints. Michael's had a sale going on. So, that's how I got a bunch of paints, because you get one and then get another one half off. So $9.99 for one and then $4 something for another one. Or in this case, this one was the $18.99 because it is the most expensive. They're not going to split that in half with a $9.99 too. But anyways, I get off subject so quick. So I wanted to see what this looked like. So I pulled it out. We're going to use it, hopefully. Then I've got a Diox Purple. I just call it Diox because dioxazine is kind of a hard word to say. These are all, this is Winsor & Newton. Then I've got my Cad Orange Hue. I've got a lemon yellow. And then I've got a cadmium yellow hue. And this one is a cadmium yellow medium. So I'm assuming because it doesn't say hue, it has the cadmium. Again, I would be careful with cadmium. I don't wear the gloves because of cadmium or anything like that. I don't know of any allergies I may potentially have, at least not yet. I wear the gloves to keep my hands clean. I seem to be a messy painter, but anyways, so the cadmium yellow medium, and this will all be in the flower. The purple I've got for like the very bottom of the flower, hopefully to get some of that darkness that's down there. Then for the stem, I wasn't sure about the coloration, so I just got all the greens that I have, even though I can make it with blue and yellow. But if you've noticed, I don't have any blue in the palette. I have some to the side just in case. I don't anticipate using any blue, so I don't have blue on my palette. So here I've got two phthalo greens. One is a blue shade, and then one is a yellow shade. So that's my phthalo greens. Then I've got a sap green from Lucas, which Lucas is a really good brand in oil paint. Then I've got olive green, and then I've got this Veridian green from Georgian. Now this Veridian paint, I was looking at the price of it, and it's an $18.99 paint, which tells me that there's something, it's a, I don't know if you could say pure pigment, but yeah, so this size 2 in Veridian green is $18.99 like this Cad Red. So I didn't get any Veridian. I figured I've got it right now in a set. That's good enough. Alright, so that's the colors. Oh, and white. Don't forget white. Always gotta have white. And I don't know if I'm going to use safflower or linseed. I think I like the safflower a little better. I really haven't noticed a difference. So let's see. The safflower slows drying and is suitable for pale colors. And then the linseed reduces consistency. It slows the drying, but it doesn't mention whether or not it's suitable for light colors. So I may not use the linseed. However, linseed seems to be the oil that both Michaels and Hobby Lobby carry, because I could not find the safflower oil in either store. I have to order this online, which is kind of sad. But anyways, they've got a water-mixable oil medium, but that's what it says. It just says medium. It doesn't say whether it's made up of linseed or safflower. Maybe if I read the small print, it would tell me what it was made up of. But anyways, that's beside the point, and now I'm rambling again. So, let's see, I've already gone over my brushes. I've got a new pair of gloves that I'm going to use because there is acrylic on the other ones, and if you remember from when we did the hands, the acrylic paint was like flaking off of the gloves and getting into the painting. I don't want to deal with that this time. I've got my brushes, I've got some paper towels, my palette. So let me get my paint laid out and we'll go from there. I think I'm ready to go. I didn't put any of the safflower oil out. If I do use it, I'm going to put it in this little cup. And then I do have my paints laid out now. So, wow. Ha 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 ha. Now if we can remember how we did it. So, I was going to line my yellows and whatnot up here, but I decided to go that way since the orange looked closer to the Cad Red light. So anyways, and then I've got my white over here. Don't ask me why I have my green so far away. There's got to be a reason in my head. I just don't know what it is. Okay, so being as these are water mixable or water soluble, I don't think I'll need to wet the brush. But anyway, we're going to. Got my paper towels. That right here. And here we go. So I think we're going to start out with my Diox Purple down here at the very bottom of the tulip. Gosh, I can barely see the white line, but we'll do our best. And right now I'm just doing the basic outline, and then we'll paint in as we go. Gosh, I'm really having a hard time. Here we go. Okay. he does. Stays kind of purplish all the way up to here. And now we're going to start in with, let's see if this Indian red looks more like a brown, but I'm going to check it out and see what it does, because I'm curious. If it doesn't work, I'll go with the Cad Red Deep. Okay. There it is. And if you do want to skip the tracing part of this, I'll make sure to put the timestamp for you. Okay. This one is that lip, so he's more of a red. And some of my paints, when they came out of the tube, had a lot of oil going on, which could work to my advantage. Okay, and then it switches more to a yellow here, yellow there, reddish yellow on this side. This is yellow. Looks like the rest of it's kind of a yellow. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, do I want to use, this side is kind of a red, so maybe this one. I think this one is the Cad Red Deep, and then these two are the Crimsons. And again, all I'm doing is tracing on my flower. And I just dipped into some crimson, don't ask me why. Okay, so this area right in here, some of these lines are shadow. So I'm going to use the crimson to outline those. And again, I'm having issues seeing this stuff. This is what happens when you're using white chalk on a light surface. Okay, and then here. And okay, that's yellow. This is a shadow here. A shadow there. Go into orange on this back one. Oh, this line right here is definitely alizarin. So, and if you notice, once I've got these spread out, the difference between these two alizarins, it's really odd, and it's because they're two different brands. I wish they would get like a uniform type thing for colors. Sorry guys, I'm picking it up. I don't mean to. Okay. And let's Gets this orange back here in the back. Actually, I think that's the Cad Red light. We'll get him in here. There we go. Where did I see it at? Just saw it. That worked. Cad Red light worked. Okay. And the rest of it looks like it's yellow. Hold on, I've got some red and this tip right here. Alright, yeah, let's go with this one. I think this one is just the, that was orange. I know this is the lemon yellow. I think that's the medium, and then this is just regular cadmium yellow hue. Tigger, what are you doing? The studio supervisor is in here with me. You wouldn't think it tracing something out would take so long. Tip of this tulip is very jagged, or the top of that petal is rather. Okay. get that stem in. This up. Well, so that now has tracing in it. Alright, so let's go ahead and paint the stem and get it out of the way.
And with that, I think I'm going to call that done, guys. Again, not the best, but I'm kind of learning. Okay, so this was the Tulip, and I want to do the rose next week, and it's pinks, so I don't think I'll have to have any other color but the different pinks, so we'll see. Alright guys, so thanks for joining me, I appreciate it. And if you want to continue to follow me on this journey that I'm taking in the water mixable oils, please subscribe to my channel, and then for encouragement, if you could give me a like, that would be great. Gosh, I'm still seeing areas I could mess with. I'm not going to mess with no more. Okay. So from Deb's Studio, I'm Deb, the Poetic Artist. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.